So we're out for stage 3, starting at Craster where we took off it last week, and we're heading away up to Seahouses. Nice easy navigation, just keep the sea on the right hand side and we won't go far wrong. But so far so good with the weather. It was absolutely lashing down on the drive up, but we've got here now and it's blue sky, and fingers crossed it's not going to be too windy. Might get a bit worse later, but come back to you in a bit. My mate Michael's joined us again today for this leg, and there's, according to the map, it's 10 miles. Last week it reckoned it was 12, but by the time I actually calculated it, it was 15 on the dot. So I can only think it's the bit around Allenmouth last week I put the extra mileage on. But we're going to stick to the route today. This first stretch is great, nice and flat, open views, good chance of seeing the dolphins if they're about, although so far on all the walks we've not seen them. And we've got Dunstanburgh Castle dead ahead, and a load of oyster catchers just up here. Occasionally when you come down here, the cat will go exploring down on the rocks, and you'll see them tiptoeing through the uneven rocks, trying to have a sniff of the rock pools and realise they can't drink them. But touch wood, never been chased yet, so maybe not an idea to wear a red jumper when you come along here. Could you get a better bit of pasture on a day like today? Been dead lucky. When we left this morning it was coming down stair rods, and now there's just a, hopefully not too much of a breeze for the sound. Blue skies and nice views again. Very hospitable chap on the gateway taking the payments etc, but he's took a photograph of us in front of the castle. So it looks like it might be a bit of a battle with the wind again today and the shade, and unfortunately I've just stopped here in the shadows of Dunstanburgh Castle, and it's quite a nice stretch this. There's some great views out across the rocks, and then at lower tide all the way down to Newton on the Sea down there, and there's some quite interesting geology in some of the rocks. Wouldn't have a clue how to describe them to you, but it's all to do with lava flows back in the day, and there's some curly whirly bizarre rock formations coming up out of the ground. So if that floats your boat, come down and have a look. They are notoriously slippy, so although you can get some great views, great backdrops, you might be able to see over here the rock formations I was just talking about. Take care down there because it's a neck breaker. So we've just dropped down here, we're at Dunstanburgh Golf Course, the southern end. The path actually takes you away from the beach and round the golf course, which has its benefits because the coastal path itself, where we're stood right now, you're taking your life in your hands with flying golf balls coming over your head. But also if the tide's in and you can't get down onto the sand, the path through the dunes is tick city. It's full of bracken and ferns, so just a word of caution. To the point the tide is, well, we're going to have a look. We'll get over the crest of the hill, see whether we can walk on the firm sand. I don't fancy walking on soft sand, not a couple of miles round to Low Newton, so we'll see what it's like when we get.
Fuel surgery every day.
Just been chatting with these fishermen behind. Dedication. They've got a bivvy, a little trolley, the rods, kitchen sink. All right, lads, how many you caught? Nah, it's been quiet. How long have you been here? All night. So about as good as fishing as me. Look at this. How very rude. A rambling club coming on our empty beach on a Saturday morning. And a bit like last week, we've pretty much got the place to ourselves. A little bit more of a breeze, blue skies, still no dolphins. But to be fair, I'm not bothered. Now last week we clambered up a dune very similar to that one there. This week I think I'll just enjoy the conversation and stay at a low level. So we're now coming along the northern end of Embleton Beach, and we've got some beach huts up on the top there, just discussing it there. I think they're leasehold, as in terms of the land. They're privately owned, but National Trust own the land that they're on. And there's some cracking little quirky ones with some spectacular views, but they are a little bit susceptible to coastal erosion. I'm sure there's been a couple that have bit the dust over the years, and another wartime pillbox. This is a little bit of a close-up of the pillbox. It's well filled up with sand. That must have been the entrance over the back, over the way there, and it's just full of sand now. But dare say, if there wasn't any enemy coming in, there could be worse places to be patrolling. Don't look back in it. We've now got a rainbow forming in the distance. I don't know if it's bright enough yet to pick it out, which always looks nice, but it does make me wonder if we're going to cop it and get absolutely flipping soaked. But compared to what the forecast was due to be, I'll take this any day of the week, because so far so good. So we're just approaching Low Newton on the Sea, and it's almost got a similar natural rock formation to Boomer, where you've got this sort of natural reef that goes out and then creates its own little natural harbour. So again, if you're on your boat, the entrance is at the far end, and you could quite easily come quite a nasty cropper with it if you got it wrong at high tide. But beautiful stretch this, and the silhouette of Dunstanburgh Castle over our shoulder. Doing a bit of repairs up on the roof up there. Don't think there's many health and safety handbooks being read in the preparation of it, but good luck to them. You do come here in the summer. There's a car park at the top, paint display, and it's sometimes a bit tricky. If it's a really hot sunny day, it will get a bit busy, but this bay, it's great for the kids swimming, and that it's very sheltered. There's not a lot of currents, so even if it's a bit choppier out at sea, the rocks create a little breakwater and a bit of shelter. And it's not like Boomer in the sense that it's sandy, where Boomer's quite muddy. So yeah, it's good. One of my earlier videos from a couple of years ago actually found a couple of great big edible urchins just over here. And the best part is the shipping little pub just on the village green. So we're going to nip in. I don't know if it's too early for a pint. If it is, we'll have a coffee, but that's where we're heading for a little time out. So we're just approaching the ship in now at Low Newton, and what a fantastic little coastal boozer. I came in here for the first time probably 6 or 7 years ago after seeing it on one of Robson Green's I don't know if it was a documentary, but a show he was doing anyway. Went in, ordered some food and drink for me and a customer, and they didn't take card, so I was mortified because I had about £3 in my wallet, and the woman said, we're going in. She said, "Nah, don't worry about it," gave us the bank details and said just do a bank transfer when you get home. So needless to say, I give them a tip and a good review. You wouldn't get that in London, would you? Newton, and way up, me duck. Oh, that was a good trip. This house here is what. This is a job we did from work. What a fantastic location! It's a holiday let, and fella that owns it's a lovely bloke. But I mean, he comes himself sometimes. But what a cracking view! Straight out. You can see the bay that I was talking about earlier now starting to develop as the tide's going out. Dunstanburgh Castle in the distance, belting. This little section here, we're just coming, not quite, but nearly onto Beadnell Bay, and there's a lot of ground nesting birds along here, to the point that the RSPB actually put wardens out camping here during nesting times, just to keep people at a sensible distance. But beautiful little stretch this is. I think it's called Football Hole, and just a really secluded little beach this. You've got a bit of walk to get here, so cracking. I want to come back in the height of the summer. Never been here. Been here 3 times now, but never in the summer. So looks a good spot for snorkeling. Whoo! A bit of calm. Just found the shelter of a sand dune. It's absolutely blowing a hoolie now. Not in a massively unpleasant way. It's quite warm. It's dry. Beautiful views and nice fluffy white clouds and great big beach. Still a little bit overcrowded for my liking, but it's absolutely spot on. So, but just not many opportunities for filming. So we're now at the southern end of Beadnell Bay. It's quite surprising when you come, you'll come to the north end because there's a car park. It's surprising how long this beach is. So it's my first time to walk the full length of it today. So we'll crack on, and I'll come back to you at the other end when we're at the harbour probably. More boulders of death to go and turn my ankle on. Out of the wind in a little, what do you call it, but on the edge of Beadnell Harbour. So it's glorious out there, but it's blowing a hoolie. So this is the only harbour on the east coast of England where the entrance to the harbour is from a westerly direction. Should it come up in a pub quiz? You heard it here first. So apparently these structures here were lime kilns back in the day. Looks like they're now converted into little either shelters from the wind or little storage facilities for the local fishermen. Quite a picturesque little harbour though. There you go, press pause, ready for yourself. That's what they were. So this is a good little snorkeling spot just here. It's quite deep. And then just behind the house over there, there's a good shore diving spot there as well. So if you're into your diving, 5th Point Dive Centre from Blythe, they actually do organised excursions up here, guided scuba diving. Myself, I've just been in here with my mask and snorkel. It's great. Saw some great big wrasse, and there's a bit round the corner. It's called Knacker Hole, but it's quite a deep. It goes very deep very quickly, so quite popular, so that you're not reliant on a boat but you've still got some depth. Quite popular with the fishermen as well. Out of the wind for a minute and the sun's gone in, so I thought I'd take the opportunity to give you a little update. So we're now probably halfway between Beadnell and Seahouses, and the path is in the dunes but quite a firm path, and yeah, we're not far to go now, less than a mile I think. So the weather forecast this morning, or yesterday, was loads of rain. Got up this morning, tipping it down with rain. We've been out. To be fair, it is threatening a shower now, but moral of the story, stick your waterproof in your bag and crack on, because this has been far more enjoyable than watching some chef's programme on a Saturday morning on the telly. So yeah, get out and do a bit of walking, you know, it makes sense. Probably the worst bit in terms of having a road next to it, but we're nearly there. Just coming to Seahouses Golf Club. I'm going to have a quick dodge up here just to show you in the distance. They've got a bonfire they're building for bonfire night here. You'll probably be able to see it from Sunderland. It is absolutely monstrous. I love a good fire. Look at that. Don't know why the thing's at half mast. That's going to be a belter, that is. Yep. So we just see the bonfire again here on the golf course. So we turned with our back to the road again now. That was a bit of a rubbish bit actually. We could have maybe gone on the sand, but then I think there's a hefty stream or river that comes out we would have had to get round. So we've now come down this little track, pick up the path through the golf course. So as you're coming through the golf course, there is a public right of way, and you've got to follow these black posts. So keep your head down and your ears open. We should be out of range by the time they're teeing off. I think we've been extremely lucky with the weather because it does look fairly moody in the distance. They say the number 13's unlucky. Hole 13. Look at that weather. I think them boys are going to catch it before they get back to the clubhouse. Well, that is us back. Just got off the bus, and the windscreen was filthy dirty and there was people on there, so I couldn't do any talking while I was on. But yeah, we're back to Craster, where we started this morning. I can't believe how lucky we have been with the weather. It's been, I can just feel a spot of rain in the air. So I'm hoping we get to the car now without getting wet, and we'll see you on the next one. Probably going to be a few weeks time. Got a few things on over the next few weeks, but catch you later.